Why does nobody talk about the DoorDash epidemic that we're going through right now? I didn't really process this until the other day, and I went into a restaurant. I mean, it was like a shitty restaurant. I went to like a burger spot. And every time I go in, the first thing they ask me is, are you here for pickup? I'm like, no, I'm not here for pickup. I'm here to order. Thanks. I want to sit down, play my Mr. Hurricane Madden YouTube video, watch his Pittsburgh Steelers franchise, and like eat a burger. The first, like 5 people, there's no one in the restaurant, 0 people. And I'm like, what's going on? And then you sit down and 5 people come in and every single person is there for pickup, like delivery. And they have a name for somebody else. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, man, what the you go to any restaurant, anywhere. Any restaurant, no one eats out anywhere, and every single one is like pick up for Greg, pick up for John, pick up for Steve, pick up for Malcolm, pick up for Daniel. And I'm just like looking at them like, damn. And they're looking at me like, yo, you're really sitting here ordering? There's this whole narrative being pushed that inflation this, inflation that, no one can afford anything, people aren't buying, like people can't buy groceries. And then I'm like, you mean to tell me that the same cohort of people that can't buy groceries can spend 40% more, because yes, it's 40% more on DoorDash multiple times a day? Who's paying for that? Like, where is the money coming from? Who's paying for that? And then I thought to myself, oh, nobody's paying for it. They're using Klarma, bro. They're taking out loans for 12-piece nuggets from McDonald's. They're taking out loans on McDonald's McChickens, bro. And then I'm like, hold on. You mean to tell me that the minimum wage job has been replaced with DoorDash worker, and that the restaurant purchase or cooking at home has been replaced with ordering DoorDash? Because I'm going to be completely honest with you. A 23-year-old male in Los Angeles, has probably ordered DoorDash twice a day minimum for the last 3 years. And then I'm sitting here thinking to myself, how many other people are also doing that? Because anytime I go to anyone's house, they're ordering DoorDash. And I'm like, I'm not entirely sure when this shift happened, but the whole world is ordering DoorDash. And then you walk outside of your house, like everyone's got the like DoorDash tote bags and shit. The Uber Eats tote bags. Everyone's walking around with tote bags. DoorDash, Instacart, the tote bags. No one's buying their groceries. No one's ordering their own food. No one's picking up their own food. No one's cooking their own food. And then you got to sit there and think to yourself, like, all right, you walk around LA, there's more Waymos than Ubers. I'm not kidding. Maybe if you don't live in LA, you don't quite get this. There's more Waymos than Ubers. So then you walk outside and you see these fucking delivery robots everywhere. And then you're like, all right, the underbelly of workers that basically support the food economy in America right now are DoorDash delivery drivers that are going to get one-shotted by the clankers. And then, bro, I did the math on this. 0.5% of the $27 or so billion in the S&P 500, or maybe it was the NASDAQ entirely, but the S&P 500, 0.5% to almost 1% is just bowl slop companies. Sweet Greens, Chipotle. Bro, food slop, like DoorDash slop, is 1% of the GDP of America. 1%! Then what are we talking about? It's like as big as, food slop is like as big as crypto. DoorDash delivery drivers account for a substantial percentage of the working class in America. And then DoorDash orderers and people that spend money on DoorDash accounts for like another significant percentage of the food money flow in America. But then you got to understand, no one's paying for the food. It's not being paid for, okay? It's not being paid for. The food is not being paid for, but it's being accounted for as if it's being paid for. So these workers that are not going to have a job very soon are being paid money that doesn't exist from people that are ordering food that can't afford it, and they're spending money they can't afford that isn't even real money. It's on Klarma. And then you got to think to yourself, what the fuck happens next? How could anyone support a restaurant when people just are ordering bowl slop everywhere? It's insane. I've never seen anything like it. What does it mean for the world? I don't know. But then you got to think to yourself, and you're like, man, what percentage of like the global economy is 22-year-olds in LA ordering bowl slop that can't afford it? It's like bigger than you would like to think. We ran out of cold brew cans, Starbucks cans. I drink a cold brew Starbucks can every morning. We ran out of them. And so I ordered a coffee from fucking, I don't know, Alfred's. I ordered a $6 coffee and it cost $15 for a 12-ounce Americano. $15! And I can afford that. Most people can't afford that, but they're still ordering it. So how are they ordering $15 coffees? They're not paying for it. They're just pawning it down the line. Credit on the credit and the credit and the credit and the credit. And then you got to think to yourself as you go down the line here, what is the trade? If the entire food economy is propped up on DoorDash delivery drivers and people ordering with fake money, and the trade is probably the dollar, the denominator is worthless. I know you think I'm kidding that my rant went all the way down the list and ended with PSA 10 Charizards, but I'm not kidding, okay? I'm not kidding. You probably buy PSA 10 Charizards because it's like, none of the shit's real anyways. How could you convince yourself in an economy where people are taking out loans to buy a 4 for 4 from Wendy's? How could you convince yourself in an economy where people are taking out loans at like 20% APR to buy a 4 for 4 from Wendy's that you should be selling Bitcoins at any price? How do you get there? You don't. And so then people are sitting here and they're like, oh, 4-year cycle, this, that, the third. Give me a fucking break. Infinite bid. It can never go down because the money that's being spent to buy this shit isn't even real. And if there ever was a time for a golden bull run, it's right now. Man, if you don't believe me, go to your local burger spot and sit there for 10 minutes and tell me how many DoorDash pickup drivers come. It's disgusting. It doesn't even make sense. It's a number that's so asinine that to even sit here and try to process that will blow your brain. Klarma's worth more than every prediction market combined. Klarma, a company that lets you take out loans on fast food, is worth $14 billion. And you want to sell your Bitcoin. It's like, what are you talking about? It's worth $14 billion to take out a loan to buy a Coachella ticket. It's like, no one's paying it back. And then you know what the next business is going to be? Klarma loans for Klarma loans. And then at some point, there's going to be a company that takes Klarma loans on Klarma loans. And then there's going to be a Klarma debt that's going to come through and they're going to buy up all the fast food credit card debt for like 200% APY. And you're going to look at it and be like, oh my God, our MNAV is ridiculous. When everyone pays back at 200% APY, we're going to be the biggest thing ever. But it's never going to get paid back. And then you have these CDOs, right? That's what they're called, CDOs from 2008. It's like the synthetic CDO, a CDO of CDOs of CDOs. It'll never get paid back. And there's going to be a fucking debt. The last sucker is going to come up and buy everyone's fucking Chipotle debt and Coachella tickets debt. And they're going to be like, dude, we're getting 300% APY on this. Like, we're going to fucking be rich. They're going to buy up everyone's debt. And when it all gets paid back, we're going to be rich. It's never going to get paid back. And then the synthetic CDOs and everything's going to fucking explode. Okay? And why would you even short the thing? Because the money's not even real. I don't know if y'all like didn't want to hear that, but why would you sell for what? Why would you sell? Why would you sell is where you land after all of that. So also you can make the same argument for why you should sell, but sell for what, man? To buy what? What would you buy? What would you even buy? And then to buy, sell for what? It's crazy. All right. First thing on my list was the food delivery rant. Had to get off my chest. I feel better.